social media and real estate. So first, I just want to put out there, I am not that person that has all the algorithms to know how to like strategically do something here to make it perform better there and how to kind of stack where you post on one and cross post to the other. That stuff honestly is very technical, and that's not the stuff that I'm good at. I am just good at kind of being me and doing it the way that I do it. So that's what I'm gonna present to you guys. So, of course, we all know social media is the quickest and it's the most affordable way that you can reach people. I love it because number one, you're reaching out to people who already know you, love you, and trust you, family, good friends, close friends, but you're also reaching out into that world of acquaintances and people that you know through other people, but you don't really have that tight knit connection yet. And my goal always with social media is more to stay top of mind more than it is to go viral, or because while theoretically that would be fun, yes, but honestly that to me is more if you are an influencer and trying to get people to buy clothes and things like that, because people can do that from far away. When you're trying to sell homes, I want that to be the people that are in my community that are seeing me, because those are the people that are going to be buying and selling properties with me, not somebody in California or somewhere else. So again, I do like it because obviously it could roll over into potential referral business if you reach outside of just Horry County. But my focus is always more the people I already have some sort of connection with. Believe it or not, on social media, like on Facebook, I could probably go through my friend list of almost 5,000 people and tell you probably 90% of them how I know them or where they're from or what the connection is. There are some randoms that are like I could tell maybe it's somebody I go to the gym with and I don't really know them, but for the most part, I actually don't accept people on social media that I can't place. Like if they're just a random looky Lou, I don't. I personally I don't, but there are some people that that's their strategy and that's fine. But I love that it gives you a platform to just start building that trust and start building that recognition. Um, so that's the goal of how I use it. I just put a couple of marketing stuff that we do in there. Just some boring stuff. But as of 2024, the most widely used social media platforms obviously are Facebook. I love Facebook. I call myself a Facebook whore. I can't help it. I've always enjoyed it ever since social media came out. But I mean, we've got over 3 billion people who use it. The largest age group are 25 to 34-year-olds, which guess what? That's pretty much our largest buying home population. So I think that's a fantastic place to be. Instagram is also a huge platform. The funny thing with Instagram is it's actually slightly more dominated by men than women. And I have a guess of why that is. Why do you guys think it is? Anybody have a guess?
Scroll our stories.
Which Facebook or Instagram?
Because
Women are half naked.
I wasn't going there, but that is probably part of it. I think it's because Instagram is a picture platform, and I'm not trying to insult you guys, but you're not reading, where Facebook is more, you could be writing long posts. I mean, I know my husband loves Instagram because it literally he says I don't have to read a bunch of crap. It's just pictures and and so I think that's a big part of why. But I love that because that just shows you like Instagram, when you want to get to the male demographic, is definitely a good place that you want to be. Twitter, formerly known as X, or I'm other way around, but that is another really popular. I go there to get like the news that the news won't really show. I personally haven't really dove into that at all in regards to my own social media presence, but it's good to know it's there. LinkedIn is another very business. I don't know if you guys all have LinkedIn accounts, but if you don't, I would really advise you to at least look into it, because that is more the professional, where it's not, that's where people go when they are really looking for specific professionals in specific careers. They're not typically going there to just mindlessly scroll. They're usually going there for a reason. But it's a good place. And then of course we all know TikTok, Snapchat. Uh, TikTok, I am just starting to sort of try to approach that because I didn't really think it would stick the way that it has. And it wasn't something that I initially was that into, but I also think now that it's gotten older, the demographics, because initially that started as that Musically platform and was a very young, very, very young demographic. But now that it's been here for a little while, those people are getting older. The parents of those young kids have gotten, I mean, there's a lot of people that are very hooked on TikTok. So that is another place that I would strongly advise if you are looking to make a presence, I would do it there. As I kind of touched on, like when you are on social media, it gives you that chance to establish trust and credibility. And I think when you can put yourself out there as a consistent brand and as a consistent person and personality, I think people will really be attracted to that. I think people get drawn to that. And then they, when you can make it so somebody feels like they know you, like my poor kids and my poor husband, when he first started real estate, we would go to a happy hour or an event, and the amount of people that would come up to him and they would talk to him like they knew him. And he's sitting there racking his brain trying to think of like, how do I know this person? How do I know this person? And then they would say at the end of the conversation, well, we've never met, but I see you all the time on your wife's stuff. And he's like, Jesus, you couldn't have led with that. I've been sitting here racking my mind trying to figure out how I know you. And my kids, the same thing. I warn them all the time. There's eyes everywhere because people, they don't recognize, like my kids won't recognize them, but they recognize who my children are. And I think if you do social media the right way, it can be that for us as well, where when you go out in the public, people know who you are. I mean, I don't even say nice to meet you ever anymore. I always say good to see you because I think I'm meeting for the first time. And then I realize, oh yeah, no, we've met, at least once before, sometimes many times before. And but it's hard because when you're meeting a ton of people, but if you've made like an impact on them, they remember who you are a lot faster. So I think that if you utilize it, you can do a great thing. But personal branding, it helps you to stand out. It showcases your unique skills and values, your personality. One of the other things that we do with social media, and I make my entire team, when we put stuff out, like it has to be a certain quality. Like when my assistant first started with us and she would help create something in Canva and she'd post it and I'd see it and I'm like, Kristen, that picture's pixelated. Like, no. And I'd like take it down immediately because when you're presenting yourself, you want it to look top of the line. I don't care if we list a $50,000 trailer or a $5 million oceanfront condo. We do professional pictures. We do everything the right way and consistently because you want when people see your stuff, you want them to feel like they know it's yours before they even realize it's yours because it has a certain level of quality. So I think, you can really build that long-term relationship. I have had people more than a few times who have reached out to me and they're like, hey, we want to buy an investment property. And you were the first person we thought of. And I'll tell you why that is. It's not because I sell a bunch of investment properties. It's because we did a property flip a couple of years ago and it was amazing. But what I did with it was I had a lot of things where I'd be debating on granite. And so I would put the two different slabs. I'd be like, which one do you like, A or B? And the amount of people who commented and fed back on that. And then I'd have people that would reach out. And then I'm like, wait, but aren't you so and so's client? They're like, well, yeah. A couple times it's people in our office. And I'm like, I love that you thought of me. I appreciate that. But I'm not stepping on toes like that. So, but to be thought of before their own agent that they used strictly because I was posting stuff like that. And I'm not sitting there saying, use me, please use it. It's just staying in front of them, staying top of mind. So some of the basic things that I use for my stuff, of course, I hope everybody is using Canva because obviously our company has our marketing website. Lisa has tons of stuff that she's created for us, but there's so many other things that you can branch out on beyond that. I mean, this presentation I'm doing right now was a Canva template that I just sort of took and created to make my own. But if you're not familiar with that, please get familiar because it's such a good platform. CapCut is one that I use to edit videos. They're more for the vertical videos. So you're going to put those on your reels and stuff like that. But it really is, it's easy. If you take the time and you play with it a little bit, you can really get comfortable in a record amount of time. iMovie, that's all we use to edit our property videos. My husband does all of our videos, our drones, and our photography. Then he edits and puts the videos together. And I'll be honest, I mean, is it a William Covey or some of the, is it that level? No, but it's pretty damn good. And for me to be able to save $1,000 or whatever they charge a listing, it's well worth it. What about Fiverr? Has anybody heard of Fiverr? Never use it. Has anybody used it? Okay. Nobody else really? Oh my goodness. Okay. So I'm gonna just exit out of that for 1 second because I want to show you guys.
That's the one, yeah, kind of, you can put out like a prompt that say, that, you know, do this.
Yes.
Okay.
So they have literally, I'm not joking, everything that you could possibly need for somebody to do. They have people that can turn it around for you and do it. And I think the fact that nobody has used this is, yeah, don't copy my shit.
I have used it.
I do too. I had to copy it to remember it. So if you go into my orders, I'm just gonna show you a couple of things real quick. But so these are gifts that I have. Come on, get out of there.
Still loading.
How do I exit out of that? I don't
Can you
wanna-
click outside it?
All right. Just get out. So I had a lady, she's created gifts for me. So if you go into any of my social media, like I will show you right now on,
We have these for the company, by the way. Y'all haven't used them.
that's why you use it. And I'm not trying to brag at all, but I got the gifts done. And then you guys messaged me and was like, where'd you get those to? The amount of people, Bradley Bennett with Oceanfront Guru just did a couple of weeks ago. The amount of people who have messaged me and are like, how did you do that? And it is not expensive.
Don't tell them.
And I know, but I share with everybody and I tell the girl, I'm like, the amount of people that I have sent you, I hope that you love me. But like here, I even had this created for Carolina Forest football because our football team doesn't have any gifts. Our high school has none. And I'm like, it's so affordable and it's so inexpensive. But like that was, I literally posted that strictly so I could show you guys. But like this is a little gift that you can do. And then you can do little things like this on social media that just makes people interact. And it is simple to do. It really is simple to do. And then, you know, like here, I've got the Innovate Real Estate going across the top of all of you guys in the earlier session.
That's what you were doing.
That's what I was doing. But you can get all of that stuff made through here. You can do, I wanted to show you one other. We had them create this outro for us that we put at the back end of all of our property videos when we create them on like YouTube, and we post them as a branded link that will load. I will show you. But does everybody have a professional logo done currently? Okay. If not, honestly, I would put, if you're gonna take this and you're gonna be a professional with it, first thing I would do, get a logo branded to you, you know, you have to co-brand with Innovate. It can't be, you know, always has to have Innovate with it. But you should have your own logo that you should be starting to put on everything that you can. Something that is identifiable as you. You can go into Fiverr. You could ask Lisa if she has the time and the ability to work with you. If not, you can go to Fiverr, or there's a million other places that you can do it. But they'll actually create the logo start to finish for you. And then if this will ever freaking load. So like this is one that we had made for us and it cost me $99. You can see it right there. And so we have that done on the back end of our videos, and it just elevates you. It just makes you look like you're legit and for next to nothing. And like I said, with all of the gifts, I mean, I think I have like 45 of those because I have everybody on my team has their own and stuff like that. But I think that that is a huge everybody to start. That is really affordable, and you can just start figuring out what your identity is going to be on social media. So again, I think if you do consistent branding, like we've got, these are templates that Lisa created, these ones right here. So y'all can use those and easily have access to them, and you just create them as your own. And again, like you want to have professional headshots, you want to have everything to make it look like it's like you're legit and you're serious. Your style is consistent with logo, colors, fonts, quality. Quality is big to me, like I mentioned with the pixelated picture. If it's gonna look like crap and it's gonna be, just don't, it's something like that, just don't even post.
Grammar.
Thank you, I have that on a different slide. Please, for the love of everything holy, like proofread your stuff. The amount of times that I will go in and I will post something, and for some reason the affect and effect, I will never ever freaking get that on my own. Every other thing I think I can do on my own, I will look that up every single time I have to use it in a post because I want to make sure I'm doing it correctly. So please, please, I beg you, make sure your grammar is correct, because nothing will make you look dumber faster than putting stuff. And I mean to even just capitalizing properly, punctuation properly, like it, if you're putting it out for the entire world to see and it's going to be there, take the 30 seconds to proofread it or to put it into, I mean, these days, I was just gonna say, these days with ChatGPT, you can copy it, post it in there and say, edit this, make sure, and they'll correct it in 2 seconds. So please, seriously do that, because you're not only, bless you, you're not only representing yourself, but honestly, you're representing Innovate with that too. And I think it's just, it's nothing irks me worse. Well, that's not true. There's several things that do, but when you're doing social media, I know, is it Jamar? Jameer, I know it was one of those, like, we talked at the happy hour and you were like, can you give me any little tidbit of stuff? Put yourself out there, and it does not have to be your face every single time. You do things like what I just did of just panning you guys and being like, getting our learn on or whatever. If you're at happy hour, do a little video of everybody at happy hour or the sunset or walking on the beach, love where you live. And then that's the time when if you have a GIF, like, or is it GIF, or I say GIF, but if you're doing a video of like, walking down the beach as the sun setting, put your GIF in the corner of it. And it's just, again, it's a gentle nudge reminder. And that's how I try to operate. Like, you could look back for years that I've had social media, maybe once or twice ever in like 10, 15 years that you might find. If you're looking to buy or sell, call me. I don't do that because I'm not trying to like solicit. I don't want to like take your business. I want you to be like wanting to give me your business. And so it's more of like just making it so when you think Myrtle Beach real estate, if you know me, you cannot not think of me at least a little bit, and that's sort of the avenue that I try to go with. So things you can do that doesn't have to have you on the face, of course, highlighting local events, showcase your neighborhoods, showcase the amenities, and it doesn't have to be over the top thought about. But again, if you get that cap cut, you can edit stuff to make it interesting and to make it, pull you in, without having to do a ton of thinking on it. Engage with businesses. I'm gonna show you another thing.
Do you have the pro version of CapCut?
I do. I went ahead and got it because I thought with everything that it made it big enough.
How much is it?
Yeah, I can tell you that in a second. Yep. I was just gonna show you. And it is Slim Chickens, but I thought that I had messed it up when I wrote it, so but I guess maybe I didn't.
The Canva's
So-
free unless you get the pro account for those that are.
Yeah. So like I made this video literally on a little whim. And I edited it in CapCut. She lives there. She got Trip to take her there last night. But I didn't do anything special to this, but when I did, I like tagged at Slim Chickens and then I did share it in a couple of groups because I happened to go the day that it opened and I didn't go viral with millions or anything, but I had like 7,200 or even maybe more than that views on it. And then when I went back in the next week, I'm not joking because it's right around the corner from my house. I walked in and in the 3 minutes that I first walked in the door, I saw like 6 different families, couples, groups that we knew. Every freaking one of them was like, haven't you already been here? Because it had just opened and we were already back quickly. And I'm like, I mean, to me, that made me excited because I'm like, hell yeah, that means people saw my video. But every single one of them was like, weren't you just here or haven't you already been here? And I was like, yeah, And I think that's cool, but it gives you, it gives you again that noticeability. And for me, I'm not even in it. I didn't do anything to do with real estate because I'm still getting more comfortable with doing all of those sort of videos. And I'm not always wanting myself to like be the one in them. But I did another real just talking about being that mom that was like overdone with, custom earrings and sweatshirts and t-shirts for my kids' sports and stuff. And I got a lot of people commenting on that too, because I am huge on the balance, huge of family and business because it's the only stuff that you post ever is real estate stuff. People are going to get really bored of it and they're going to move on, especially if you're just doing just listed, just sold, or even standing in front like, hi, I'm at 123. Like people get really bored of that. So it is the whole cliche thing of like tell the stories or make it interesting or make it fun, but have a lot of your personal life in there too. And if you don't feel like you have enough going on in your personal life, then get a personal life. Start doing things. Because if you want to be successful in real estate, you have to have a personal life. It goes hand in hand. You have got to be social.
One real estate coach taught me how to do educate to attract. So what I've done is a inspector reached out to me and I interviewed them and asked them how they do their business, what should my clients or general clients look for in an inspector, and what are the most so just a general interview and other things like posting about like the new changes. I haven't been consistent with it, but changes with the lawsuit or kind of like stuff like that, educate to attract, and then also going to places like Huntington State Park,
Mhm.
and I take pictures there whenever I go and have some interaction there, not as much as I thought, but you know,
But the thing is too, is if you consistently do that, it's a snowball effect. Like I tell everybody with real estate when you're new, you know, real estate is a roller coaster for at least 3 to 5 years when you're a real estate agent. It's a roller coaster where you're like feast and famine. Well, it is always okay. So it is always, but it's a roller coaster at the beginning where you're doing loops and turns and ups and downs. And then after a few years, it's like a kiddie roller coaster. Like you're still getting some bumps and waves, but you're typically not getting completely just thrown on your ass. But it takes 6 months to a year to even get on the roller coaster, in my opinion. So I think if people acknowledge that and can be prepared for that and can start doing the work social media wise, work wise, because I tell everybody on my team, it is a snowball effect. Activity breeds activity. No matter what the activity is, if you're doing it, it will snowball and it will eventually, if you're doing something that is purposeful. I did have a girl on my team and I love her and she was entertaining. She did videos all the time, but every single video was strictly entertainment and nothing was educational and so I think if she had done a mixture and I tried to tell her that like she was really funny, she was witty, they were cute, but it never snowballed because there was no education, there was no learning, there was no like when the video came, you're like, oh, I gotta see this. It was just if it came across, you watched it, and it's fine. But I think if you can try to have some intention and try to make it a variety, and I'll go into some of this stuff up here. I kind of took this off of a thing that they teach in like elementary and middle school to kids about when they speak, and they stop at think. But when you're posting, or I think, you know, when you're speaking, I really, really, really try to live my life by this. I say, be a thinker. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it educational? And is it relatable? If it is one of those things, post it. If it's not one of those things, don't. Like, think all your thoughts, especially right now. I think we can all acknowledge with all this political stuff. But even going into the NAR changes, I never made one post about it, because no matter what you posted, it was going to be polarizing. People were going to be for it, be against it. People were going to come on saying we're overpaid. To me, I saw zero need. And even the people that posted being like, okay, well, let me add this up to the hourly wage and stuff like that. I don't know. I didn't see where that was advantageous. In fact, I felt like it kind of took the whole thing and made it even a bigger thing than it would have been. So I try to go by this 1000% of the time. And, you know, if it's one of those things, then post it. If it's not, think what you thought, text your friend, vent about it there. It doesn't need to go on social media because it's not attractive. It's really not attractive. Few other things for me is like, you know, be you. Of course, when you're posting, be authentically who you are. Now, if you're a negative Nancy, maybe not. But if you're don't be suit and tie and yeah. But don't be anything that you're not. Like, be who you are. You know, not everything has to be deep. Remember that what'd you say, Dave? But not everything has to be deep. I mean, top of mind is what's the most important thing. You can post videos of the beach, post a video of the happy hour, post your favorite meal at your restaurant. Like, you just want to be visible. And I will totally rip off Jared James' quote. I think it's amazing because he says all the time, visibility trumps ability. And that is the truth. If you are visible and if you are the person somebody thinks of, it doesn't matter if you're the best in the entire world. If they don't see you, what does that matter? It does not. Everybody loves statistics. If you guys are this as well, this is another thing that if you're a little bit afraid to kind of be in the middle of it right now, that you could sort of rip off. This market stats, if you've never used it, you can come in here, you can make graphs. So if you live in a neighborhood and you want to show people, you know, how many homes have sold and how the prices have changed, and you can come across the bottom and you can change it to like homes for sale, closed sales, days on market. Like, if you are curious in your neighborhood of how long homes are selling, and maybe you've heard some people griping that homes are sitting on the market for a while, you can post and you can show and you can compare it to the entire MLS. And but if you post a graph, if you have graphs either in your neighborhood Facebook page or on your own, like, who doesn't think they know what they're talking about? This stuff's already made for us, you know. The one that there's one, Jeff, where's the one that gives you the whole this is InfoSparks. Yes. And like I said, you can break it down, and when you post that, and you can again put your logo, like, because you can do, if you don't want to do it like a moving GIF yet, you can still do it just with your logo and just have anything that's on the back of it be removed so that it's like not transparent, but you know what I'm saying?
Background.
Like the background's gone, and you can put that. So even if you don't have anything else, if you can save your logo like that in your album on your phone, and when you post something to your story, you can lay that over it. And again, it just elevates you and makes you look like you know what you're doing. But there is a spot in here, and I apologize that I can't remember exactly where it is right off the top of my head. Oh, right here. God, I'm good. So right here, like, if you wanted to go, I'm gonna just pick Carolina Forest, like this little 1-page picture of Carolina Forest, and it will show you how many single family homes there are compared to last year. You can see the increase, the decrease, the year to date. It will tell you the condos and the townhomes. It gives you again more graphs. This is stuff that you can just put on your stories if you wanted. You can, if you go into CapCut, you could put this as a still image, and then you could still do a voiceover and talk. If you're not comfortable being in front of the camera yet, you could put this and you could talk over it and just read it. But it's ways that you can get in front of people that is all here. It's all done. It's all ready for you. And you just have to actually take advantage of it and use it.
Real quick, what goes along with the stats, altosresearch.com. You go there and do a market report for like a zip code, and it'll show whether you're in a buyer or seller's market. Because a lot of people would say, well, what does that mean for me? Is it a buyer's market? And it definitely, I know when we did professional training recently, he was in our market. And in some zip codes, we're just getting into the buyer's market, or we're slightly seller market.
Mhm.
depending on the-
Yep, yep. And depending on how much new construction is around and what price point, I mean, all of that factors in. But so the market stats is a great place you can go to get information because again, you want to be educational. Part of Thinker is it educational because as a realtor, for people to, they can already like you and know you, but you want them to feel knowledgeable because that's the biggest other key to somebody wanting to come to you is do they know you, like you, and trust you? And then are you knowledgeable? If you are knowledgeable, they will come to you. AI, obviously with Chat GPT and all that stuff, if you're not utilizing it, start, and I am, but I'm still a little bit of a rookie with it. But like one of the girls on my team, Jade, she posts on her stories every day, like an inspirational quote, and then it's a background that's like some sort of a beachy theme. And she has Chat GPT and they'll create an entire, if you want it for an entire month, you can say, and you just have to prompt it the right way and it can create all of that for you. So again, it's other ways that you could be on social media and be putting yourself out there without, being obnoxious. Business page versus a personal page. I think they both have a place. I definitely do. Business page, you're going to get way less engagement, but it is, I think if somebody is trying to see, who you are, like, and they're looking up, I think you need to have it. I try to keep a lot of people say the 80-20 rule. I go more 70-30. I do 70% personal. I try to keep it about 30% business. I don't know if I'm always right in that mark, but that you want, again, if you're only ever doing business, I promise you people will skip right at you. And make sure too, like if you have Facebook, specifically, Instagram, I think your account should probably be public so that everybody can see you. But if Facebook, if you're doing it a little more personal, just remember you can edit each post to see if it's just your friends that see it or if it's a public post. So if it is real estate related, make it a public post, and then what's that?
And shareable.
And shareable. And if it's public, it would be shareable. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's automatic. If it's public, that's when it's shareable. If it's friends only, it won't be shareable. But if you make it public for real estate stuff, and then once in a while, personally, I would still throw something personal in as public. That way, if somebody is just scouting you out, you want them to see because I think it matters. I think when people see you as the whole human, it's a big deal and people like to see that. So, but I think that everything, that goes on our business Facebook page makes it onto my Instagram page because it automatically feeds, but then my personal Facebook page is a little less business. See, and I see a typo and that's gonna drive me freaking nuts. Because
Say so, but
I missed it and
On purpose.
I'm showing, but okay,
guys
that is a
see
great
what I'm
moment though. But doesn't that glare out at you? Honestly, like I know for me, when people come in and do a presentation and I notice I'm like, I find it to be such a turnoff. So
You wanted us to see it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Well, it's a representation of how you're gonna be working for them. Pay
exactly,
attention to details.
1,000%. You want to pay attention. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Well-
Said you married.
This is very bad. I have three of my very good friends over there heckling me. I know you haven't.
Yes, later.
So I love you for that. When you're posting, I always say, like, tailor your language for sure. politics, religion, swear words, even with swear words, like my brother fights MMA and bare knuckle. I will even for that, I'll be like, kick his ass, and I'll put an asterisk for the A. Like, I don't, because it's unattractive. Even though I swear a lot in real life, I think even talking, I know that it does not make me sound educated. I can't help it. I like to swear, but it doesn't make you look good when you're swearing in your social media. It's very unattractive. But I do always say, like, be you. If you're a hunter, even though you know some people are going to get offended by hunting, whatever. If you drink, like, don't post pictures of you falling down drunk, but if you're a drinker, who cares? Like, I always say, I don't want to work with anybody that doesn't want to work with me. And when you're on social media, you're attracting people. And if somebody reaches out to you, you want it to be because they've kind of seen the full scope of who you are and they respect it and they want to work with it. And so that's, I say, if you let your kids sit ringside at an MMA fight, fine, because people have given my brother shit before about him letting his kids come and watch him fight. But that's, it's like, what I actually had somebody unfriend me. Yeah, this was probably 5 years ago. So Drew, my son, was probably around 8. And we went just to watch Brandon practice. It wasn't a fight. It was just to watch him practice. And I posted a picture of him and a guy that I knew but wasn't buddies with. I can't believe you would let your kid watch that. And like, totally, I was like, you know what? See ya. Like, if you don't want to be, if you don't like what you see, I'm okay with that, but I will always be authentically me, which doesn't mean you have to paint everything as roses and butterflies. That does not mean that, because the reality is, it's not. And in fact, I will show you one other thing.
Hey, Jules, if you don't like who's out there, when they come call me, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
Said you can't swear on your social media, Mark.
So, so I will show you guys this post when I say be authentically who you are. This happened to me 2 years ago at CCMF. Basically, somebody called me fat, and I was drunk, but it hit me in a way that I just like couldn't believe. Like, hours later, I was just in the shower sobbing. Look at how many people commented. And that's comments. The amount of text messages and private messages and things that I got was like, could still bring me to tears. But when you put yourself out there, and don't do it all the time. And I think that's why it was so engaging, because I don't sit there as a poor me, but my heart was ripped out that night. And when I put it out there, I mean, it just, Jesus, I mean, I'd gotten out of the shower and I climbed in bed and kind of still crying, and I posted it, and I woke up the next day to like, holy crap. But I think that that's what people, they want to see the all of you. And I think the computer's gonna die. Where is
If you look at a lot of these acres, they're posted, I noticed this year and last year. You post your listings and post all the business shit. 2 likes, don't care, no
Yeah.
comment that were. You post that I just went out and did something myself.
yes,
1,000
Thank
lists
you.
that they
Yeah.
like that, they don't care about the work stuff, they don't care about the work stuff.
exactly.
And
And
reels seem to get a lot more.
always, always. And like I said, I mean, I only show you because that blew my mind, the reaction and the people. And like I said, that was people who commented there. And then if you added the private messages, the text messages, the phone calls, it was like next level,
Jules, I just think you took that wrong, you didn't understand it right, you meant PhD.
Thank you, baby. But something else to make sure that you're doing, respond to your comments and messages when people comment on your things, because when you're trying to get pushed out there, acknowledging people, number one, but also I think the algorithms like that too, for you to be reaction. But every day, like when you're on your social, don't have it and just be mindless, like be deliberate with it. Go on, like I try, sometimes I'll pull up somebody if they just pop into my mind, like a past client or a friend from high school or something, and I'll go on their page, and if they have anything that's relatively recent, because you don't want to look like you're stalking and posting, commented on something from January, but comment on things and like people's posts and share people's stuff and, make recommendations and connect people. I just had an agent that I've done referrals with in New York ask me if I sell in Somerville, and I don't. But the mother of one of the wrestlers that we know through wrestling, I know she does. And so I made that connection. And it's like, hopefully that's going to come back to me when it all comes around. But again, use polls and questions to increase engagement. Like I said, when I was doing the renovation, I did a lot of that. But I don't know. I don't, again, I think I'm maybe authentic to a fault. Like I can't take something that I'm not really doing and post it. Like you know what I mean? So I think you try to make it be what you're actually doing or be real. Using hashtags, obviously that's going to help your spread. There are things that we've been hearing about not doing as big of the general hashtags, but doing a little bit more niche or niche, however you like to say it. Again, I hit on proofreading. Please proofread what you post because you look stupid if you have a bunch of errors and everything. Like it's okay to cheat. See what other people do that you like, that you think is interesting, and just put your own spin on it. Because even though there's a lot of people and there's a lot of creativity in the world, let's be honest. I mean, we can't reinvent the wheel. People have already done.
Do you friend like all of your clients? I don't mean every lead, but people you're actually working, do you friend all of them? So they can you
So funny story with that, and I'll pull Jeff to say this because this was, oh God, probably 12 years ago. Jeff and I were talking, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, once we're into the deal and we're working, and I know, or if it's something I know, it's somebody I've met and I know that we're kind of cultivating, I friend request them. And way back when, Jeff was like, that's crazy. And he's like, why? Because then my husband worked at Outback. So he had Thursdays and Sundays off. So there were Thursdays we'd be out on the boat all day and and he's like, you don't worry that they're gonna, and I'm like, why? I don't post offensive things. I don't post political or religious things. I don't swear. I like who I am and I think they'll like who I am. And if they don't, that's totally okay. But I don't go over the top with it. But if I feel any connection, like whatsoever, which I do with 99% of my clients. So yes, most of my clients
saying that not to be authentic. I was saying
no,
people
will
say,
judge.
"Hey, you're not working
Yeah,
on Thursday."
no, that's exactly what you meant. Like people will judge you and people will be like, how are you, not here or not? And it's funny because I am more of, oh, I have an appointment if it's my son's football game, where my husband, and that's one thing I love about him from day one, though, he tells people exactly what it is. If he's got to bring, Blakely to cheerleading, like he tells them, where I make it more of, it's an appointment.
I don't care if they see that you're out on the boat on Thursday, that I'm playing tennis on a Tuesday morning. I have a life, but what they don't see that I also work Saturday, Sunday, evening.
Exactly.
9 to 5 job like you.
Exactly.
You can't go on the boat, Mr. Client, if you work at a bank 9 to 5. I don't.
Right.
I don't get to take my Saturday and Sunday off and go hang out with you. I gotta go work.
And to balance that, what do? You probably, to balance that on occasion, not every time, but on occasion, when you're still writing a contract at 10 p.m. on a Saturday night, do a little boomerang of the paper and the TV screen or whatever, and be like writing contracts. Like you balance it so that people can see, like, yes, you're social and yes, you have a life and yes, you're doing things, but you're a hard worker and you're going to work your butt off for them when they hire you. And I think that that's the balance and that's the whole meaning of social media. Like I don't have where I post at 10 a.m. and 2 a.m. and I don't have specific timelines or specific criteria of what I post. That's why some days you'll see I got like 10 stories and then I'll go 2 days without a single story because it just depends on if I'm doing stuff or not. Because again, I'm not a fluffer, so I'm not gonna just sit there and put stuff that's not real. Damn it, another typo. But I do say, like, use it, don't be afraid to like cheat. Think of ways that you can engage with your audience, share stories, be relatable, make people just make people like you and like curious of what is going on in your world. And again, if you do have young kids, it's fantastic too, because the amount of people that will walk up to my kids and be like, Drew, how's it? And he'll have no clue who he is. And we always tell him, we got eyes everywhere. So you better be behaving because if you're not, I guarantee you somebody that knows us is going to see you and you are not going to get away with it. So that's a double bonus.
Double-edged sword for our children.
And it is. I had that conversation with my dad last night because I was like, in so many ways, I feel so bad for these kids because everything they do is on a Ring doorbell or we got their Life 360 or it's like we were just talking about that because I was like the balance of harping on every single time they do something wrong. But it's like, God, we did all of that when we were growing up. We just didn't get caught all the time. They didn't have everything. And it's a part, like I was telling my dad, it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Like I think some of these things that we go overboard with, I just think is crazy. Yes.
Tell my mom.
But it's sometimes I swear to God, sometimes like I will purposely not look at where because they are supposed to have some damn freedom. Like if they don't and they don't know how to do anything on their own, what are they gonna do when they go away to college or when they move out on their own,
Wait until they're checking to see where you are. My girls check on me more than I check on them.
I have a feeling my daughter already does that, but and I just put my contact information, but again, this is something that I created this in Canva. And like when people are commenting, looking for a realtor or whatever, 99% of the time you see people comment back and they're like, hey, call me. I'd love to. I always post this picture because I think it makes it different. It's not just your business card. It's more of an identifiable and when I'm trying to jump in with 550 other Myrtle Beach real estate agents who are trying to get the business, I think it's just something that will stand out, but it's also my contact information. Like I am here. I love to share. I've been doing this for 20 years. So, social media or otherwise, I love to share what I know and help people. So if any of you guys ever need anything at all, please feel free to reach out. I hope, was that helpful at all? Or is it all just stuff you're like, I already know?
Refresher too.
Okay.
Lots of notes.
Yeah.
Did you? You're very good with your social media stuff though. Most.
Between my mentor and the owner of the company, I have two different opinions about stuff. I stalk everybody from me on. Like I'm like
Okay.
style.
I'm like,
And he's like, I get asked to be their friend when they haven't even talked back yet. Like you can't do that yet. I'm like, this is
I mean, but that this is the thing I love about real estate so much, that you can have two of the most successful real estate agents next to each other and their business, the way they handle themselves, the way they won't even resemble each other. And they will both be kick-ass, top of the line, great agents. And that's what I think is fantastic. Like if you're comfortable being friends when they're just a lead, do it. Like if that is what you are comfortable with and what works for you, like I think for everybody, like you do not need to be like anybody else. You need to do what feels authentic to you and just go with it, but do something. You know what I mean? Do something.
Well, it goes back to that, because I've told a number of people that it's not authentic, right? It's not going to come across as engaging. People will not like you.
Exactly. 100%.
We try to copy.
What did you say?
Being authentic.
now it's even that stuff.
just not being authentic.
But I think it's fun because like there's people that, even the if you're outside of a normal niche, okay, so with my brother, he is on my real estate team. He also does the fighting and he also coaches wrestling. And we have been working on a way to like kind of merge all of that because I feel like sometimes I feel bad because he will be coaching wrestling and like I've got a deal right now with somebody that I would never have known if it wasn't for wrestling, but it's because he's in there coaching while we're kind of talking. Excuse me. But so like he's working on the wrestling realtor and I was telling him like you've got to start doing videos like explaining, like wrestling moves, like do what you're super comfortable with at first. So for him, I was like, let's do a video talking about the points. How do you score a point in wrestling? How do you do, like do a quick 30-second video. And then at the end be like, and if you need, someone who's going to score for you, the wrestling realtor, like, be funny and silly with it, but come up with something that can be like you taking what you already know and what you're already comfortable with and working it into the real estate world. Because even with like the knowledge videos, like I was saying about if you're going to do the videos, they can't all just be entertaining. You want to have some that are going to be explaining things to people. And I'll admit I triple question myself because I'm a words of affirmation is my love language. And so I sit there because I'm like, okay, I'm going to explain something and somebody's going to nitpick and tear apart one little aspect of it, and then it's going to bother me. And so I just have not really done it. But I need to get over that just like everybody else. And that's why I've done some of the videos of other things to sort of start diving into that and feeling more comfortable without fully exposing myself right out of the gate, if that makes sense. So, does anybody have any questions for me?
I have a comment. I knew nothing about video editing until a few weeks ago. And I went onto YouTube and I did a research on video editing software. And I looked at a lot of reviews and CapCut comes out #1 free, unless you know, need the
Mhm.
advanced stuff. So I've watched, I don't know how many training videos on CapCut, and I'm now creating my own videos, just using my house, right? Going room
Yeah,
room to
yeah, yeah,
room.
yeah. I'm
And
practicing.
I'm using their standards, that, you know, all the tools in there like transition and effects, and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't know how easy it was to do that.
I'm telling you.
And so I'm doing that, and I found training. I've done, like I said, a whole bunch. I found one CapCut training. It's 1 hour long, and never did I say I'm not going to watch the rest of this. And it's a simple training episode, a training video on making chocolate chip cookies. And he takes 20 different video clips, puts it together, puts voiceover where he needs to. He actually changed the voice from the guy who was doing the cookies to the AI generated voiceover. So he
Right.
changed the voice, and he adds sound effects and transitions, and it's amazing. So I don't know how I get that to everybody. If anybody wants to see it, it's the best
I would
1 hour
love
I've
if you
seen.
would say that.
Page.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
perfect.
thank you.
And
It's a really cool thing, we talked about today.
Yep, I'll do that.
I'm so glad that you brought that up actually, because I was going to touch on that as well for the editing and for the ideas. If you go on Instagram specifically and like you do a search of Canva hacks or they will show you so many different things that you're like, oh my God, this is so cool. I never would have thought to do it this way. And they're like 30 seconds or a minute long, and it will just show you something kind of fun that you can create with either CapCut, a lot of it's with Canva, or a lot of it's just with the Instagram stories themselves. But like this was one I'll just show you where I did with CapCut, and I was just practicing with the sound effects because I had not done. Let me. Whatever, I don't know how to.
I love that you shoved your phone in like a bed.
Totally.
My daughter. I also love that you made those programs for these tires.
But yes. Yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, that's not social media, but like the camera sound and stuff, like I did all that, and nothing over the top or special. But this is not social media, but just saying, like for our daughter's school and our son's school, they don't have any like football shirts. So I probably have between this year and last year, probably about 150, maybe more shirts floating around that I put, and I make them pay for them, but I put my logo on the sleeve of every single one of them. And because nobody else is doing it and people want it, and I have them, they're custom. So like on the back, they'll say their kid's name and number, like their football number. And we did those for and I made programs for that. So it says something like the real estate team that we hope you'll call for or whatever. I thought I had the other one, but it's great like return, and it's just again for me, this was me starting out where I'm like, I don't want to be real estate, real estate, real estate, even though I do real estate videos as well, but I actually get in. A lot of the other ones are videos I post on my page or I post on my story, but I actually was made reels with these where you get a little bit more exposure and stuff. And so using those programs though, I think are really helpful. Anybody else got any questions or anything?
So you mentioned all the social media apps, so you got TikTok and Facebook, etc. You didn't have YouTube on your list.
We do have a YouTube account. Now this is one area that I think we need a little bit more figuring out how to get like found better, because we post all of our, I mean, we have 110 subscribers. It's kind of pathetic. But we post all of our videos and we do some fun stuff, but these are all of our real estate videos we put on there. And like, you know, my husband again has a drone. So a lot of but these are the videos that we do. I don't know if this feed is pulling slow or what, because it looks a little bit pixelated. But we do videos. What?
I said, take it down.
You should have to get better on the sound. You say sounds?
No, the being found.
Oh.
Are you talking about? Yeah, because like we post videos and we've got, you know, we get some views, but I don't feel like it's as much as what it should be. But yeah.
Do you link your Facebook when you post a video then? Link it to?
So Facebook hates when you post YouTube links. They want you to post the video direct. That's a big thing to know. They want you to post the video directly into their portal or whatever you call it. So,
Yeah, they're competitors.
right. So we don't ever post the video, like the YouTube link, because I mean, I challenge you guys, do it. Do one as a YouTube and then do one where you post it authentically or directly into it, and you'll see the difference. Like your YouTube link might get like 2 or 3 likes total. They just don't like it. They don't share that.
Is there a way around that to say, see, you know, the video in comments and then have the,
I think that helps a little bit, but like if you can upload the video directly, I would just do it that way. I mean, you could probably do that and then also add the YouTube link to the same video in the comments in case somebody wanted to share it with somebody or something like that. But they don't like it for you to add the YouTube link. Anybody else? I mean, does the Fiverr, I'm telling you, explore on Fiverr. Please explore. There's so many things that you're going to be like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's easy, like doing the gifts. I mean, for probably if you had like $300 to go in, you could do, you know, a quick little video about yourself. There was one other thing I was going to show you guys. It's in there. So if you're like me, I can talk my ass off and then you put a video camera in front of my face and I'm like, I don't know. So I hate talking in front of things. So this is like a little stand where you can put your camera on it and then do your videos all by yourself, nobody around to judge you, nobody to make you feel uncomfortable. So you can just put it, like I put my camera on, I do it like this because the quality is always better. Sorry,
Yeah,
like
like that.
this. Yes, thank you. But you can do, you know, videos, you can just have it there, do it of yourself in front of the property, or it's like if you just want to kind of talk about, you know, I mean, honestly, for today, something cool that you guys could even do is post a little 20-second video and be like, something I learned today, or here's my goal is, you know, whatever from this morning, like maybe a takeaway from this morning, a takeaway from today, and it just being like, I'm so excited that I'm doing this real estate journey, and if I can ever help, let me know, you know, just, but like, put yourself out there, go ahead and do it. But I think for me, having that just makes me more comfortable, because you stick a camera up and I just get all, ugh. It's insane. I have no idea why, because I don't feel nervous, but my body reacts like I'm nervous. So I would recommend grabbing one of those. I think they're great. Like
You have to
30.
do a recruiting video for everybody makes
I mean, you could do that too. I mean, that could be something like you could even angle the video we were just talking about by saying, one of the other reasons I'm so glad I joined Innovate today in class. Well, you know, and like I said, give up 1 or 2 takeaways from this morning and one from this afternoon. And then just have it be that where you're not asking for business, you're just putting yourself out there. So people know that this is what you do.
What's kind of off topic, but if we do get somebody to come to Innovate, like I have a friend that I went to school with, and she's now seeing how successful I'm being Innovate and not work. She wants to come join. Who do I?
Darren.
Yeah, Darren has taken over doing the, yep. So just email Darren.
It's not Yvonne anymore.
She just stopped. She's going back into actual again. So it's Darren now, but just reach out and just say, you know, she's interested.
On the marketing page, there's a referral form on there also.
Okay.
But yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing. I mean, that'd be another great way to do it too, just to do. Another reason I'm glad I joined Innovate, a little couple takeaways. And then because if it doesn't get you a buyer or seller, it might get you another agent who's considering a move. That's like, oh, that's, you know,
There's like this thing like broker kit.
Did you mention the Innovate part?
Did you get
The only reason I say is because.
I just sent it to those the broker kit is where like you sign in and then.
yeah,
put it-
I'm assuming that they all know that, like
Yeah.
how to get there, right? I don't want to beat on that. Yeah, because
That's what Yvonne.
I know that's part of the training, so. But yeah, that marketing website that Innovate and Lisa has created, like take full advantage of that because you don't have to, it's just plug and play. And that is, I mean, to have a company that gives you that many options to be able to edit and customize.
It's weekly content.
Mhm.
It's all this.
Exactly. So there's no reason that anybody shouldn't be posting something and, you know, everybody, or at least when I first got into real estate, they used to always be, you don't want to be a secret agent. You want to make sure that everybody knows. But I find it unappealing when people are tacky and like begging you to give business. So that's, in my opinion, that's not the goal. It's just the visibility. It's the visibility for people to start learning who you are, start feeling confident that you know what you're doing, and start being top of mind. Yes.
If you post a reel on Instagram, does it post on Facebook?
If you have the settings that way, it will, yes. You just have to do, it's very easy to do it. And then, oh, I think I started touching on this, but with, when you're looking up in, Instagram, like I was saying, like Canva hacks and stuff like this, you can even look up, like I watched one that was showing me how to get your reels more exposure. And it was just, I mean, it's literally a couple of little clicks of buttons of like allow cross posting and that, but it's all there. I mean, we live in that world of just knowledge. It's all available. So just if it's something you don't know, don't get frozen scared. Just try to find the way to do it and just do it. And we can modify and tweak things as we're doing it. You know, you can always get better, but you're not going to get better without practice.
If you want to go viral, just make fun of your wife or your husband.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, that's funny.
So much fun.
I need to,
Every time that it happens and we poke fun at each other, it does go because it's authentic. Like
Mhm.
it's sincere. We're not like saying, you know, whatever he's making fun of me about, it's true. She does.
But you're absolutely right. And sharing with your family and your trials and your tribulations. And I just think, I don't know, I love social media. I think it's the coolest, best way to be able to stay in touch with people. And, you know, it's kind of in some ways it sucks. Like you talk to somebody you haven't seen and it's like you guys, you already know what's going on in each other's lives because you're, you know, and that part can be a negative. But for us with real estate, I think it's the best thing we could have had.
Get a line.
I mean, I recommend it. If you don't have a life, get one. Join a club or just start doing anything or just, what'd you say? Yeah. I'll take you out. But yeah, I mean, I think but again, always be looking for when you are doing something as simple as going by the beach or driving by the sky wheel or anything like that. Like if you're in the mountains right now, freezing your ass off, like that's appealing. That's something, you know, and it's those little things of like, just make people know why you love to live here.
That's what I did last year because I'm from Maryland and we went back up and it was snowing. And I said, if you're a Marylander in the northern states, I was in the snow and it was coming down and saying, call us if you want to come down to Myrtle when I have snow.
Right, right.
So,
I mean, that'd be funny too, to do something like if you're up there and, take the video of yourself in the snow and all that, timestamp it, date it or whatever, hold it. And then when you come back and it's nice and pretty out, get on the beach and do a little video and be like, why do this when you could do this or something like that? Like simple little things. But I think that those kind of stories are fun. And again, it's just staying in front of everybody.
This was very helpful for me because I am the privatest person in earth. Like I'll post a Christmas tree and my family and friends will be like, oh, there she is. It's like, you all have my number. You all have
Right.
So I'm struggling with that part.
Yep. And there's a lot of people that are that way.
Mhm.
And
So the perspective you brought, like I have a different perspective. Oh, okay,
Good.
it's cool. It's just like, but then I do have to portray my life now.
you do. But the thing is, like, visibility again trumps ability, but it's also if they're friends with you on Facebook and social media, most of them, maybe not all of them, but most of them genuinely want to see what you're doing and how life is. And so I think probably if you've never done it, if I were you, I would start slow with the real estate stuff and do more personal and then integrate it a little bit because you don't want to come, at least for me, I wouldn't want to come across like now I'm only posting because of this. Because like when I would get calls, I can only relate it to this, like from friends from high school or something. And I'd be like, God, we were really good friends, but we had kind of drifted. And we get the call and we're talking for like 10 minutes. And then I feel them go into their whole spiel about some multi-marketing level. I'm like, motherfucker. I literally like, I just wasted the last 10 minutes talking to you. Like it makes me so mad. Sorry. But yes.
Do you do a content calendar? Are you scheduled out or do you pretty much keep it so?
I
you're-
don't.
Listen, I've tried, but I end up more in paralysis. I need to get more just like in the moment, post the thing that's happening.
Yes.
So I was curious because you do have a lot of that balance for your informational and educational with your real life. So I didn't know if you kind of thought it out for the week, like I'll post this on Tuesday and.
I don't at all. The only thing that we have calendared out is on our business page, and it's literally only like birthday postings and holiday postings, which nobody cares about, but it's one of those you got to have them. That's not something that's going to give you good spread or anything like that, but it's like you can't not post them.
And this woman that does that, like.
Yeah, I think everybody.
She posts like, okay, I'll make this and post it on the site.
Yeah.
I'll make this and post it on Friday. Yes.
Mhm. And one of the things
Shot it.
that Karen actually gave
But that
to
doesn't mean it can't
me,
be authentic
It
either.
can.
I know
No,
for
it's
you-
real
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just-
Well, I'm saying that for you because I know you are a very authentic person.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you're trying to grow your business and maybe you say 2 days a week, I'm definitely going to do.
Educational pieces, I feel like.
That
I
doesn't
need to,
mean
like-
you can't do anything in between,
Yeah.
but to help
Yeah,
get.
absolutely, if you wanted to do it a couple,
slowly kind of get it.
especially if you made those the informational things, like if
Yeah.
just say if every Sunday CCAR put out data of the week prior and you did your Monday,
Yeah.
Monday numbers or whatever, like and something like that where you could be consistent, by all means, I think that would be fantastic. I just never really have, but one of the things that Karen had said to me that I was like, I love that. Like when she's out somewhere and like if she's in Conway or in Murrells Inlet and she sees something that catches her eye or something pretty, she'll take a bunch of pictures and have them in an album so that she can like, you don't want to post 75 in the same day, but she can have them for another time. And it doesn't have to be, it doesn't make it inauthentic if you posted a picture of the Conway sign and you said something like, one of the other things I love about Conway, even if you're not there that day, that's not, to me, that's not, is it inauthentic, unauthentic? And I think they're both, I feel like they're both right. Yeah, that doesn't mean it's not authentic, but like you could do that too, kind of have an arsenal of pictures of around that you can use to fill in if you do have the slower down days. But a lot of times it's just, it's stupid stuff like taking the picture or a video of your feet as you're walking up to a house and then pan up to the house itself and post Saturday showings with your logo on it. Just keeps you top of mind.
Yeah.
I feel like you want to say something, Jay Casty.
You wear really expensive shoes, be prepared for.
I would never have to worry about that, but yes, some of us, I guess, would.
It's, like, directed right now.
Yeah.
Cause that video that went viral was him in his truck and everybody, yeah, your truck, your what,
My Ravens.
Yeah.
Ravens luxury item, 10-year-old truck.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah, yeah.
So two things that I'm planning to do a lot of video and I haven't done a lot of this. In my past career, but two things that I got that I think are gonna be helpful is a wireless microphone.
Mhm,
So when you're
absolutely.
even 2 feet away or 10 feet away, it sounds like you are right there.
Yeah,
And then the other thing that I got, which I'm still learning how to use, is a gimbal
yes,
for my phone.
yep,
And this one comes with tracker, so you can actually walk back and forth and it will follow you. So you don't be standing still. You can, wherever you are, you can kind of walk around. the
what is it
room.
called?
What's this brand?
Yeah,
Hohem, Hohem.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
put that out there too.
Throw that on the.
I got a gimbal a few months ago and I gimbal is what it is.
yeah, it's,
I asked Gavin in our company, because he does all that.
Yep.
He recommended one that's, the one I've got is still like that. It'll track you. If somebody's running, it will not pixelate. It'll track them.
Yep.
So it's a good one. It's not the cheapest one. It's
Mhm.
not the $200 one. It's more like $500. But
This one was 250 and I bought it on Amazon, had a Prime Day like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
And it was 157.
oh, nice.
And so,
Now, let me ask you this, when you have your camera in it on wide angle.
Yep.
Is it all, and maybe that's a user error, but we bought a couple of gimbals. I haven't messed with them, but Trip does. But he can never get on wide angle. It's constantly gets the,
Landscape or portrait, is that what you're saying?
like on the wide, yeah, for videoing on the
So,
ultra wide.
yeah, what
It
happens?
always gets the edge of the gimbal.
So what this one does, there's a button that you press and it will flip around so that the gimbal part is in front of you. So you may not be able to see the entire screen, but it doesn't block the video.
Okay.
I can bring it in.
Yeah, I would love to see it because we've bought a couple of them and that's what Trip constantly says is you can see the gimbal every single time. Yeah. It drives them nuts. But those are great things to have. The lapel microphone, I think a little stand like this. I mean, you can buy like a white backdrop if you wanted to have for some of your educational stuff for really cheap on Amazon. I bought one probably 2 years ago, still in the box, but you can do it. And do your but you can do your videos with that. That way, if you wanted to change the background to something else, it's easy to do because it's just white behind you.
Yep.
But I really would just say, just get out there and do it. And you don't have to do every video doesn't have to start with Karen Castelline with Innovate Real Estate. It doesn't have to end with that either.
I won't
It
stop.
doesn't even need to be in there. Doesn't even need to be in there. If it's in there once in a while, fine, but it doesn't need to be in every single video. Because when you start with that, at least for me, I've got major ADD. Like I'm on, you already lost me when I'm having to listen to a 10-second introduction of who you are. You know what I mean? So I would recommend that as well. And of course, all the things of like the hooks and, I mean, that's all stuff that you can look up on Chat GPT or anywhere else, but of like the best hooks to get started with a video. But some of them are so tacky to me, but the whole, 10 reasons why you'll hate living in Myrtle Beach. If you hate the warm weather, then you don't want to live here. If you hate the ocean, this is not for you. But the hooks though, like you can find those and definitely you want to try to pay attention to what is getting, attracted more. I mean, it's funny because I actually did, which I didn't realize, but I've watched enough of it that one of my, like that over the top mom video, I started by being like, have you ever wondered if you're that over the top mom, and which I didn't realize that I did like a hook until after. And I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I was like, okay. So anyway, I'll start blabbering. Thank you, or stop blabbering. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. What's that?
From Maine.
Yeah,
I'm from Mass.
where?
Framingham originally.
Framingham. Bye, guys. Thank you.
30
Well, everybody say their names real quick before you walk out, because I hate not knowing. Isabella, nice to meet you. Julianne, Rob, Lynette, Jameer,
Ron.
Ron, and I think I know everybody else. Okay.
So Framingham is 30 miles west of Boston.
Okay. Yeah.
Boston and Worcester.
Yeah. I born and raised in born in Calais, Maine, which is the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But I graduated from Westbrook High School,
Where's that?
right next to Portland.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same exit off the interstate.
We left, okay,
Okay,
Went to Raleigh for a number of years.
very cool. I don't blame you. I don't know if I was supposed to pay attention if anybody had questions.
There was
but
comments, but there were nothing.
Shit, whoops.
Yeah.